101.3 local. BCN, c'est télévision pour communauté caribéenne. BCN, Boston Caribbean Network Television, c'est première télévision communautaire et commerciale qui est là pour promouvoir valeurs culturelles, sociales et historiques pays d'Haïti. Une télévision qui l'a 24/24 pour voir toutes nouvelles nationales et internationales. D'ailleurs, si vous avez aimé produire émission par sur radio ou bien sur télévision BCN, ou avez aimé nous filmer service dimanche l'église ou, pas de problème, juste relais dans 617 290 16 60. 617 290 16 60 pour plus d'informations. Et pas oublier, nous sur toutes plateformes tant que Roku, Facebook, Firestick, YouTube et nous sous chaîne 31.3 local. BCN, c'est télévision pour communauté caribéenne.
Bonsoir tout le monde, c'est un plaisir pour nous avec vous pour nous présenter une édition spéciale et politique autrement après-midi, toujours avec Cavalier Polcam et M. Jansen à Fleury. Mais nous avons une surprise après-midi parce que nous accompagnons, nous avons sur le plateau deux invités et nous allons laisser soin à M. Fleury pour faire une introduction. M. Fleury, comment ça va?
Ah bien, Donna, on a boulé parce qu'il y a plusieurs lundis à mercredi nous pas là. Mais aujourd'hui, là, nous là en chair, en personne, pour nous parler de politique, parce qu'on est connu là, c'est politique à parler.
Yeah, un peu l'actualité.
Un peu l'actualité.
Je vais introduire, yes, nous avons là.
Good afternoon, David. Good afternoon, Tom. And we are so happy to have with us David Lopez and
yes.
Tom Mountain
yes.
from the Republican Valley.
Yes.
I don't know, David, if you want to say something about yourself to the nation.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Just as a brief introduction, my name is David Lopez. I'm a vice chair for the Mass for Trump campaign. Brief overview, 30 years on Wall Street, MBA in entrepreneurship, and 8 years as a college professor at Babson and Suffolk. And I'm involved in the campaign to help turn around our state and our country. And thank you for the invitation.
Yep. Tom Mountain is a long-time friend. Tom, do you want to?
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Tom Mountain. I am also vice chair for the Trump campaign, and specifically I'm the vice chair in charge of coalitions. Coalitions meaning we set up various groups such as Jews for Trump, Italians for Trump, Vietnamese for Trump, and of course Haitians for Trump. But we also have occupations. For example, we have we're hoping to get law enforcement for Trump. We have lawyers for Trump. We also have gun owners for Trump. And we're closing in on 20 coalitions for the Trump campaign for New England, for Massachusetts. And we usually tie these coalitions in with the national coalitions. And by doing that, we're able to network throughout Massachusetts and New England, but also eventually throughout the United States to try to get people to come onto the Trump campaign and network to vote for Trump. In November.
Donna, I will let you ask the question, but I want to add, I'm the chair of the coalition Ayisyen for Trump in Massachusetts.
That's correct.
Ayisyen for Trump. This is a good thing. It is so nice to have you guys here. We're going to be talking about politics. So let me go to David. David, why Trump?
Sure. So I focus on entrepreneurship and this entrepreneurial spirit that we have in this country. People starting businesses, people taking control of their own lives on a daily basis, control of their own finances, their own safety, and their own opportunity. And I've always been a fan of Donald Trump for many, many years in New York. He started a business, he built an empire, he went through a lot of challenges, overcome adversity, which I think is very important. So he's an inspirational figure, really, to me and to a lot of the voters in our country as well.
All right, David, the same question. Coalition for Trump, Haitian for Trump, and everybody for Trump. Why?
At one of the State of the Union addresses, Donald Trump said, he looked into the camera and he said, we are the United States of America. We will never be a socialist country. Nancy Pelosi, the then Speaker of the House, was horrified by that. But nevertheless, that's the motto of the Trump campaign and of the United States. We are a capitalist country. Donald Trump is the epitome of capitalism. He's an American success story. And he was able to bring his success as an entrepreneur, as a real estate mogul in New York City, to the national level, as a businessman, to try to fix what's wrong with the country, and there were many problems, but also to try to make America prosper, which he did over 4 years. And we are trying our best to get back to that for this next term, starting in November. Donald Trump is an America First president. He is dedicated towards American prosperity, towards deregulation, towards small business people, towards the working men and women of this country, towards elevating as many people as possible to the middle class, to the upper classes, however you describe it, towards bringing in and educating and facilitating legal immigrants, not illegals who cross the southern border. So we are really at a crossroads. We can head towards a more capitalist, prosperous country, which is prosperous for all, or we can head for a socialist country on the way to Venezuela. We would rather head towards what we were heading towards before, and that is to make America prosperous and capitalistic, and to bring us back to where we were in 2020 before we were sidelined and the socialist Democrats took over and have almost brought our country to ruin ever since.
Okay, but now let's talk about a hot topic, about this conviction. What do you think? Do you think that it is not a good thing, or because we have a Democrat president and they convicted him for I think 32 counts? I'm saying, what do you think about that? Do you think it is not fair, or what do you stand on that?
You're talking about the legal.
Yeah.
The legal. Well, those are all politically motivated. Those are all, excuse the pun, trumped-up charges against him. Whether you see, they're all motivated by Democrat-appointed and Democrat judges, prosecutors across the country. Most of those have fizzled out by now. The cases in New York, Georgia, the one in Washington will fizzle out soon, the one in Florida. Those are really fizzling out. The Democrats tried their best to launch any type of legal assaults against Donald Trump that they could. They've all failed, and they will continue to fail. So we've actually, I think, turned the page away from that. And they're going to move on to a different smear campaign, a different way to try to take him down, and they won't succeed. Because Donald Trump is strong, he's focused, he's a moral man, and he's moving towards a re-election, and we're convinced that if we stay the course, we get our message out to the American people, we will win this election.
Yeah, but based on that, do you have faith on the legal system?
I do have faith in the legal system. However, too many judges and too many prosecutors were appointed for political reasons, and many of these prosecutors, the district attorneys across the country, were funded by the Soros funding, George Soros, an extreme leftist billionaire who's funding all these elections for prosecutors on a citywide level and a district level across the country. They were geared towards taking down Donald Trump, towards prosecuting him in whatever way they could. The Attorney General of New York City, of New York, went on record saying that her goal in life is to take down Donald Trump, and they really tried to get him on the flimsiest of charges. For example, not keeping proper business records. That's really a misdemeanor. That's so trivial, nobody would prosecute that, but they did against Donald Trump. Why? Because he's a threat to them. They want to do anything they can to derail his campaign, but that failed, and whatever other legal things that they throw at in his way and in our way towards us will fail completely. So they fail. We're not afraid of those. We're not in the least.
I have a question for David. David, when you look at the polls, there are more black people who want to vote for Trump in 2024. Yeah. Do you have a message for those people, the black people?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a very exciting trend that's happening. Historically, the Democrat Party, frankly, would take advantage of a lot of different groups. They would assume automatically that different groups would vote Democrat. But I think what's happened in our country applies to everybody, whether it's immigration, inflation, overregulation at this particular time, safety. All these different things apply to everybody equally. So I think you're seeing the numbers go up, not just in the African American grouping, but Latin American folks as well, Hispanic individuals, Asians as well. So it's in a great uptrend, and we're happy to see it. And I think, frankly, the polls underestimate the power of these different groups that are coming up. And I think we're going to be surprised in a really good way come November.
Okay, Tom, you know, I'm Asian. You know, I try to defend the interests of the Asian people, and I'm the chair of the Coalition for Asian for Trump. I'm a Republican, but many Asians ask me that question: what Trump can bring for them if Trump is elected in 2024?
Sure. So let's look at the key issues that most people face in general, right? So you think about going to the grocery store and seeing 20 to 30% difference in prices. That's going to affect everybody. You think about safety. The Democrats are big on defunding the police, just as an example, and that's certainly not good for anyone at this particular time. So safety is a concern that applies to the Haitian community overall. So you have inflation, you have safety, and think about it, I focus on entrepreneurship, so that's starting new businesses, expanding businesses. And one of the key issues that affects people that are starting and running businesses is regulation. So you have cities and states and the overall country focusing on too many regulations that make it very difficult to start a business, to raise capital, to grow your business. The regulatory environment is very, very difficult under the Democratic regimes, as you know. Republicans with Donald Trump, I mean, think about Trump. He's an entrepreneur. We talked about that. He likes to start businesses, grow businesses, and in an overly regulated environment that crushes the entrepreneurial spirit. So those are just a few things that I would feel strongly would benefit the Haitian community.
But if I may interject, especially with Haitians coming from Haiti as new immigrants, to leave a country and move to another one where the language, the culture is different, really is a big step. So the Haitians and other immigrants who come to this country, what do they want? They're looking for an opportunity. They're looking for opportunities. They're real entrepreneurs in the sense that they want to come here and open a business. They want to open a stand. They want to open something that is theirs, that they can own, that they can profit from. They don't need the city regulator, city of Boston, the town commissioner, whomever, telling them what to do and how to run their business and giving them all sorts of obstacles to put in the way of their business. And they certainly don't need the federal government to do that. With all these regulations, everything from the Environmental Protection Agency to so many different regulatory agencies which can really come over and overpower them to the point where they have to fill out this form and that form and that form. It's just a bureaucratic nightmare. Not only that, but it's a tax system which can also cripple a business. So all that we're looking for, all that people, I think, from different countries, especially Haiti, want when they come here is an opportunity. We, traditionally in America, have given people that opportunity, but it really depends on the administration. Under a Trump administration, you're going to get that opportunity. Under a Biden-Harris administration, you're not going to get that at all. They are going to stifle the individual small business person, the individual who wants to open the store, who wants to open the daycare center, who wants to open the salon, whatever. So many regulations are in place before they even start, and so many taxes are in place. We want to get rid of or minimize the taxes and the regulations, and that's what Donald Trump is about.
So I'm gonna have a question for you, David, because you're a Wall Street guy. Now, giving tax cut to the millionaires or the big businesses, what does it mean for the little guy?
Sure. So, I mean, that's kind of a catchphrase, right, that the Democrats use. millionaires and billionaires, and it has a nice ring to it, right? So people kind of buy into that. The fact of the matter is, though, tax policy influences just about everything that we do, okay? At every level of financial success. If you have a stifling tax policy, that's going to hurt everybody. So think about it logically. In Massachusetts, the sales tax is like 5–6%, somewhere in that range. If it keeps going up, that's going to hurt everybody at every single level. And the sad thing about it is this is intentional. So if you think about capitalism versus socialism, socialism doesn't like individual thinking. Socialism doesn't like individual actions or entrepreneurial mindset. So they control that through regulations, as Tom mentioned, but also through tax policy. President Biden said no one under $400,000 in income is going to be taxed with his new program. Well, think about it. I mean, $400,000 a year. I mean, that's a lot of money to me and to everybody. But the fact of the matter is, we live in Massachusetts, right? One of the highly educated workforces, as you all know. So you think about a couple of professors at Harvard or in the Kendall Square biotech area. $100,000, $150,000. I mean, it's a lot of money, to me, no question. But that's pretty common. So you put together two of those incomes, and now you're at the 300, 350 range, and then think about housing, $1 million median housing price in Massachusetts. So the point is this: $400,000 sounds like a lot. But ultimately, when you have two successful, individuals pooling their income, we're going to be at that range. The other part of this, everybody, is it's not just taxes from the IRS in terms of income. Think about fees. Think about fees for a fishing license going up. Think about fees for just about anything that we do. So the fees are a kind of a hidden tax, a hidden inflationary tax that hurts everybody. So it's tax policy, just like the regulatory policy, frankly, can be used as a weapon for the Democrats, and they do it very well. So that's something we have to really push back on and to continue that entrepreneurial spirit and opportunity.
But also, those states which have the highest taxes, especially state income taxes, and also the highest regulations, are also Democrat-led states, such as Illinois, such as New York, New Jersey, and people are fleeing those states. There's a migration which is going south to Texas and also to California. And the biggest culprit is California, where the taxes are outrageous and the crime is outrageous. Well, California is a one-party state. It's Democrat-run. And so people are leaving those states to go to these Republican havens where the tax burden is minimal, where there's no state income tax, where the regulations are minimal, where you can open up and have a business, and the government will basically leave you alone. That's the philosophy of Donald Trump. That's the philosophy of the Republican Party, to let the entrepreneurial working spirit of Americans, immigrants, new immigrants, just do whatever they want to the extent that they can legally, and to set up their businesses, and for us to leave them alone. We just want to be left alone from the government overreach, and that's what Trump is about. When Trump was president the first time, his main directive towards his cabinet secretaries was to get rid of as many regulations as you can. And recently, in a very long interview with Elon Musk offered to take a free job to monitor government waste, and he would do that to just get rid of all the government waste and regulations that he could find.
I think you're doing a good job. Now, this question is for both of you. For my community, the Haitian with TPS or with the undocumented, there's this fear going on. You know what? If Donald Trump is elected, they're going to get deported. And it's for both of them.
I think they go with
Let me go with Tom first.
Well, the Republican Party philosophy has always been, with regards to immigrants, first we're stressing legal immigrants. You have to come here legally. Now the second one is those who've come here, shall we say, illegally, but who have been here for several years and who have worked and paid taxes and who have stayed out of trouble with the law and who have been productive citizens, they're not going to be deported because they're productive citizens. We appreciate, we're not thrilled that they came here legally, but since they've been here for a while and they've proven themselves, and so we have no reason to deport them. We just want to get rid of the people who are dependent on the government, the criminals, those who came here to take advantage of the
As
country.
you probably know, Haitians, they work 2-3 jobs.
Yes, they do.
And
Yeah.
stay away from trouble.
Those are the last people we don't want to deport them, and we won't deport them. You're not going to see that happening. What you will see happening are those who take a government handout, those who have been arrested for this, that, and the other crime. Those are the ones that we have to get out. Then eventually, the people that you speak of, the Haitian community, they will be integrated into America, and they, quite frankly, they already are.
Yeah, so we want those people to stay. So the Haitians that come in, terrific work ethic, terrific family values. They believe in America. They come here to be successful. So we love those people. The reality is, though, we're focused, or Trump is focused on safety. So he mentions MS-13 quite a bit, the gangs from whatever country they're from. So if people are coming here and, you know, with the obvious intent to hurt and rob and, you know, do bad things, that's not good for the overall society. So, you know, my take on it is, you know, the same as Donald Trump's, is we have to focus on the people that are coming in with the express purpose to break the law, to rob, steal, and do other different things that cost money in terms of resources, police, medical, social services. You know, those are the folks that are coming here to do us harm. So that is and should be, in my view, the focus at this particular time.
And we're really concerned with those groups from, shall we say, Central America, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico, the real hardcore drug cartels, and the drug routes that they use to bring their illegal substances into America, and the human trafficking, things like that. These are the people that are the real hardcore bad elements that we want to get out of the country, that we want to get rid of first. So there's those people from those places, those high-risk countries. Haiti is not among them. And also, the countries where terrorism comes from. And what are those countries? The Middle East, Libya, Yemen, Iraq, Iran, Syria, et cetera, et cetera. Quite frankly, there should be a complete stoppage of countries such as that, which are sponsors of terrorism, for their people to come here. But they come in illegally from the southern border. Those are the countries to watch out for. In other words, we're not worried about Haiti. We're not worried about Haitians. We're worried about other people from other countries, for good reason, especially the ones that I mentioned.
Now, let's just stay on this. Now, what do you think about the current administration foreign policy towards Haiti? You know what's going on in Haiti, and Jean knows, you know, what's going on. And to me, nothing is being done to solve the problem, but without realizing that, okay, if we don't fix the problem in Haiti, the people that you're talking about, you don't want to come into the United States. They might, you know, go to Haiti, from Haiti to other countries, Colombia, Venezuela, or wherever else, and then get in. So do you think a Trump administration will have a different approach of how to deal with Haiti?
The Biden did nothing for Haiti, Obama did nothing for Haiti, and the Clintons were the worst violators of Haiti.
Okay.
They were the worst.
Yeah.
The Trump administration coming in, especially now with the crisis in Haiti, Trump is a Mr. Fix-It. Where there is a problem, there's always a solution. There are problems in Haiti, and the problems that you elaborated on, where if the problems aren't fixed in Haiti, then they will want to leave, and then they will want to come here legally. We have to get at the source of fixing the problems in Haiti. Now, how do you do that? I personally don't know, but I'm confident that Trump and his team will know what to do and how to do it. They're not going to abandon Haiti like the Democrats since the Clintons have done. They're going to work towards a solution in Haiti. And I will be frank with you, like I said, we don't know what that will be, but they will see it as a problem, as an issue. In our hemisphere, Haiti is very close to the United States. In our hemisphere, that they will have to fix. Because there are different problems with different countries in our hemisphere. Venezuela has to be fixed. It cannot continue the way it is. It's an oil-rich country. The two major problems in the Caribbean, I think, now are Haiti and Venezuela, with different reasons. In Venezuela, you have a self-destructive Marxist government which is bringing the country down. In Haiti, you have just a different form of chaos. But to every problem, there's a solution, and we're much more confident that Donald Trump can fix it, as opposed to a Miss Harris, who will not fix it. She can't even fix the southern border problem. And she was in charge of the southern border. I don't even think she visited there once.
But at some point, I think there was by passing the bill to fix the border, but Trump influence the Republican to, you know what, don't do that because he's going to take the credit.
No,
Is that right?
No. What we needed to do, and what would have happened had Trump had Trump been reelected, is it's very simple. You build a border from the Pacific Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico. Borders work, fences work, I should say, a fence that is impenetrable. Now, it made its way through California and through to a point in Arizona, and so what you would hear and see is that people will not infiltrating the United States or California. Why? Because there's a wall. There was a wall there. They had to go around the wall as far as New Mexico. If the wall had continued, then it would be right on the border, right from sea to sea, and then they're not getting in. Once the illegals don't get in, then you can deal with the people who are here. Then you can carefully go through all the illegals that are here and decide who stays, who's productive, and who's not productive. And the ones who aren't productive, especially first the criminal element, will go. That's how it will work.
David?
Sure. So two questions there, right? So Haiti first, right? I agree with Tom 100%. Trump is a problem solver. He's a pragmatist. So you think about a country, you know, Haiti or other countries, what's the most important fundamental aspect of any sort of country is safety. So you have to start there. If people don't feel safe, and this is Haiti or anywhere really, if people don't feel safe on a daily basis with their family, they're not going to start a business, they're not going to leave their house, they're not going to invest. Outside investors aren't going to invest either. So I think, and I can't speak for Donald Trump, but generally speaking, he would probably say, let's get this place safe and stable first, and then start to build as a foundational structure, just like you build a house, safety foundation first, and then move up in terms of opportunity, education, business endeavors, and so forth. And I think once that framework is in place, you can definitely build it up from there. But the other question on the deal with regard to immigration, first of all, I mean, I saw the reports that you did as well. I don't know if he killed the deal or not. I mean, that's kind of maybe speculation that's out there. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I mean, I don't know for sure. The one thing I do know, reading through that bill, it wasn't the greatest bill in the world, right? I think, and I could get it wrong, but it allowed up to 5,000 or 10,000 people to come in per day before the border was shut off. I don't know what the number is between that number. That doesn't sound like a good deal. And I truly believe that Trump loves this country, so he's not going to jeopardize the safety of the country just so he can get elected. I mean, he's a driven individual, as you know. So I don't know if he killed it or not, but what I do know about that bill, that it wasn't the greatest deal in the world, and so whether he had some influence or not, I don't know.
So to you, it didn't matter who was going to take the credit for it. Is that politics?
Yeah, so I mean, listen, there's politics there as well, but also, you know, I read his book back in the 80s, The Art of the Deal.
Yeah,
right?
I have it somewhere here.
Yeah, I read that, and The Art of the Comeback, which was another good book, right, after he went bankrupt in New Jersey. But you think about the Art of the Deal, you don't want to sabotage a deal that has some good points to it. So if he analyzes whether it's purchasing real estate, buying a company or whatever, and he doesn't think it's a good deal for him or, you know, his side of it, and he pushes back on it. That's just good negotiation. It just is my opinion. I don't think he killed the deal for his own political you know, safety or ascendancy, if you will.
Yeah, that's right. What I want to say, you don't need to be Republican or Democrat. You only need to look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, the president of Haiti has been assassinated.
Yeah.
Haiti now is one of the less secure countries in the world under the Biden administration. Haiti is more poor than. I think when you look at the facts, I think the administration, the Biden administration fell in Haiti. If the Biden administration fell in Haiti, Kamala Harris fell also. Though I'm not stupid. If I judge the Democrat Party and the Republican Party, and I know the Democrat Party fell in Haiti, let me take a chance with the Republican Party.
But was there any difference when Trump was president? Was it any different?
Yeah, there was a big difference. For example, when Trump was president, I don't think under Trump administration the president of Haiti will be killed. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, the thing is, Haiti is getting worse. You know, every day things are getting crazier and crazier. But to me, I feel like either under the Trump administration and the Biden administration, it's like nobody cares about Haiti. It's just, I mean, look at the situation now where, you know, you had to go. I believe if the United States wanted to help Haiti, they would have sent Marines down there, not police from Kenya, and they've been there for months and nothing is getting done. And now when you're talking about the Haitian people, when those are, you know, with TPS or whatever the status might be, and then now they think, oh, everybody says Trump is going to deport us, they're going to send to Haiti. Now they're living in fears, and obviously their family members as well. They're not probably going to say, oh, based on that, we will not vote for Trump because we know that's what's going on out there. We both know about it. Based on that, we're not going to be voting for Trump. So I think we just need a president that will be able to legalize the people, especially the one with TPS, because you have people with TPS, they own homes, they work 2 jobs, they're paying taxes, good citizens, and why would they go back? Right. You know what I mean? Why would they go back? So, and I think that's the biggest fear among the Asian people here in Boston, especially those with TPS. Yeah. So that's what's going on around. So I don't know if it's because Donald Trump never hasn't been talking about it, and to probably clarify some of the fears, some of the things that they're afraid of, and I don't see how it's going to get resolved or who should do it.
Sure. So I think, as I mentioned before, his priority is the individuals that are reaping havoc in our country, MS-13, as I mentioned before. But the other thing I'm going to say about Trump, too, I mean, he looks at the United States and then the surrounding countries, so our hemisphere, if you will, or our part of the world. And he wants all of those countries to be successful so that people come over legally, but even the fact that they want to stay in their own country if their country is doing well. Safety, opportunity.
Because if Haiti was doing well,
right.
I don't think the Asians will just keep coming here.
Yeah, and you can say the same thing for all the surrounding countries as well. So in other words, if life is good at home, you know, you have a good job, your family, real estate, businesses, safety, all those things, well, why would you want to leave your home? And that could be any of the different countries. So what happens is people are fleeing a scary situation, whether it's from a safety or lack of opportunity or whatever. So if we can help a lot, Haiti, you know, especially, but a lot of these other countries to be stable, safe, financially viable, people are going to stay there, and then that solves a lot of different problems, okay? So my take on it is, as I said before, he wants the people that are in our country illegally, that are I hate to say it, rape, murder, other horrible crimes. He wants those folks out. And I think most of us, would kind of share that thought from a safety perspective.
But if someone's productive, if someone is a productive citizen, like you mentioned, the Haitians who work 2 or 3 jobs, there is absolutely no reason that they should fear a Trump presidency, because they are desired, productive people in our country. Now, let's say some of these Haitian immigrants came to our country and they came with nothing, with penniless, and they received emergency assistance. We're a humane, humanitarian country. That's fine.
But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you up, but you must know that the Haitian, I mean, you can read the report and they say they come looking for jobs. So once they have a job, they don't want the government.
That's right. But what I'm saying is, I'm just trying to make the difference.
Because we are proud.
They have the value
citizens,
of the
we have the
local
value, because the way, everybody, I mean, every country, they have their own culture.
Yep.
So for us, when somebody's on food stamp,
Right.
they're not proud of it.
I understand.
Haitians are not proud
No,
of
what I'm
it.
saying is, let's say Haitians come on these boats that are sinking and leaking, and they show up on the shores of Miami. Of course, the local government is going to take them in, give them food, give them shelter, give them whatever they can. But then in a very short time, they will go out working, and they will go with relatives or the community, whatever, and they will become productive citizens. So these are the people that we want to become a part of our American society. What we don't want are people who 2 years later are living in public housing, getting food stamps, getting welfare, this and that. That's a burden on society. That's a big welfare burden. And the other thing that we don't want, like Dave said, is the criminal element. The Haitian community, from what I've read and from what I understand and from the people I know, do not fit those negative criteria. They are very hardworking, and they really add to our country. So what will happen is, once the border is closed, and it's going to be closed, once Trump gets elected, then there'll be a sorting out process. But the Haitian community will not be among them. I can assure you of that. What you were talking about earlier is that, the Democrats have not done anything for Haiti. And so now that Haiti's in crisis, what you will see what you have seen under Biden and Kamala Harris will continue if they're elected. In other words, they'll do nothing for Haiti. They don't care about Haiti. So, but you will see something, I think, dramatically different under Trump. So it's been proven that the Biden, Kamala, and Harris people are no friends of Haiti. They don't care of Haiti. So why not give Trump a chance? You've already seen what the Democrats do. Give the Republicans a chance. What have you got to lose by supporting Trump? Trump will be there for Haiti. It can't get worse. It will only get better. I can assure you of that.
With that being said, I think that is your job, Vice Chair Coalitions, to get the word out there.
Yes,
in the
indeed.
Haitian community.
We're trying.
That's what
We're trying
doing.
very hard.
Spend some money in the Haitian community,
Yeah.
to help,
We're trying
alleviate
very
the
hard.
fear that they have.
And what
Because,
we-
I mean, you have to know that, they're just, just listening to the media, the big medias, that's what they heard, that's what they're hearing. And if they don't have anybody like yourself and David to say, hey, this is not the way it is, this is going to happen, that's not what you think is not true.
What we
They're
tell
not gonna know.
what we want to tell the Haitian community, just at an economic, personal level, is are you better, if you've been here for 4 years, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Is gas cheaper? No, gas is double the price that it was 4 years ago. Food prices are double what they were 4 years ago. And yet, housing, and yet, your expenses has gone up, but your income has not gone up. We want you to keep more of your own money. You don't want to give money to this regulation and this fee and that fee and this tax and that tax. You want to keep your own money, because by doing that, you expand your businesses. You're consumers. You go out and buy things. You contribute to the economy. We want to let you keep as much money as possible. You can only do that by voting for the capitalist Republican Party as opposed to the Socialist Democrat Party.
Yeah.
The Democrats want to control every aspect of your life. They want to have a centralized economy. And how do you pay for that? With more and more taxes. And they will be taxing everyone, from the top all the way down. They say tax a billionaires, tax a billionaires. Well, there aren't enough billionaires in this country to pay for what they want. So they're going to be taxing people down, 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 all the way down to the hairdressers and the beauticians and the small store owners. They're going to be taxing them to the point where instead of they're working 60 hours a week, now they have to work 90 hours a week. Now the kids have to work more. And everyone has to work just to pay for the taxes and to comply with the regulations. You don't want that. We don't want that. We're trying to get rid of the whole socialist government, because if they continue, if you think Biden was bad, wait till Kamala Harris gets in. She is a socialist to the core. She's a radical left-wing ideologue, and she will turn this country into, we will be on the road to Venezuela, and nobody wants that except for them.
But you know, Dominic, you brought up a great concept, the word pride. Pride is a wonderful motivator. Dignity, self-esteem, those emotions force us to move forward. So the individuals in the Haitian community with their pride, those are the individuals that we want in our society, that are proud of themselves, their family, they have self-esteem, their dignity. So they don't want to be on food stamps, to your point. They don't want to be on welfare. They want opportunity. So, like, think about the immigration throughout the 250 years of our country. The people, you know, vast majority came to have a better life for themselves and their family, to build businesses, to grow, to get an education, to leave a legacy for their family as well. Those are all common traits really with all of us who came here over the years. So I love that you mentioned that pride, because that's a huge motivator to be successful. That's how our country was built, with people with those concepts of pride, of dignity, of risk-taking, you know, whether it's starting a business or starting a family. Those are wonderful attributes that we need more of. So I would say to the Haitian community, like, that's what we need. Like we as a not organization, but as a country, we need those values that you possess. So please, you know, don't be afraid of doing it.
The other thing, if I may add, with Haitians, from what I understand and from what I see, they have many churches around here in New England and in the country, in Florida and elsewhere, and they're a very religious, church-going people. The Democrats are anti-religion, they're anti-Christian. They pray to the altar of socialism and, quite frankly, communism. They do not respect, they don't like churches, they don't like organized religion, they don't like organized Christianity. They will shut down churches. They shut down all the churches during the COVID crisis, and they will continue to do so if it happens again. They are not friendly to church-going people, to people who will go to the churches every Sunday, and they don't like those people, which means they don't like the people who like the Haitians, who go to the churches. They don't like them, they don't trust them, because they're devout Christians. And to the Democrats, devout Christians are a threat. We, on the other hand, we Republicans are very much in tune with the religious community. We love the Christians, because this is mostly a Christian country. The evangelicals, the Catholics, we believe that church-going people are a moral people. They're a Bible people. They obey the law. They're productive citizens. And we will be behind them 100%. I mean, for God's sakes, the Obama administration, they went after Catholic nuns who are running charities in New York City. We would never think of doing that. We would support these charities. We would support these orders. We would support the nuns and the priests and what they're doing. We adore them. We love them. They're a part of the American fabric. And you know, any religious Christian, devout Christian who votes for a Democrat really needs their head examined, because the Democrats are against Christianity. And I'm not speaking as a Christian. I'm actually Jewish. But our country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles, not on socialist principles, but they want to bring us to socialism, which is an atheistic way of living, of being. It's an amoral way of living. And I'll give you an example of how immoral the Democrat Party is. If you notice, one thing I noticed at the convention, where they were showing the cameras outside, and they had these big mobile trailers that you would usually see the American Red Cross would show up to a business and where you can give blood. So what were these mobile trailers? They were abortion trailers. So they would pull up there, and if you wanted an abortion, you can verify it. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true.
Really?
That the abortion trailers were there, and if you wanted an abortion, go right in and get an abortion. If you want a vasectomy, we can do that to you too. And these people they're so obsessed with abortion. They're so obsessed with it. All the speakers have talked about women, reproductive rights and this and that. Well, reproductive rights, what does that mean? That means killing babies in the womb. That means subjecting these innocent unborn children to this terrible, terrible calamity, which is abortion.
Yeah.
And so they are a party of immorality, and it's symbolized by their abortion mobile buses that show up at the convention.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but what do you say to a woman, you know, who's being raped and now carrying a baby? Do you think that probably won't do more?
There's always exceptions. If you're raped, if your child is, if they're going to be born with severe, incurable, life-threatening calamities, then of course we have common sense. But again, with the Democrats, abortion is like, you know, you go to a candy store. You want an abortion? Okay, have an abortion, then go to the candy. You know, it's just so prevalent and so common, and you have to wonder, why is there this obsession with, quite frankly, killing babies in the womb to the extent that they do? They're obsessed with it. And if you see
population control?
Pardon me?
Is it a population control? Maybe?
It could be. I mean, my God, seriously, when you have the abortion vans and they say have a vasectomy, well, that means they don't want the population to replenish itself. These people are immoral. They're crazy. And you know what? I will equate that to, I think 100 years from now, our descendants will look upon us as a really immoral society, similar to how we today look upon the 1850s in America as an immoral society which had slavery. How can you have slavery? You enslave a whole people, and then of course the Civil War ended slavery. But the fact that we could enslave people, now 100 years later, 150 years really later, we look upon that with horror. How could we as a country have been that way? I think 100 and 150 years from now, our descendants, our children's children will look upon us the same way, that we allowed abortion to be so common, so prevalent, so embedded in society. How could we do it? And they're going to look upon us the way we look upon slavery in the 1850s.
I want to give it to David, but this is very interesting because the same way, don't you think that, you know, everybody has a right to decide, you know, what's going on with their body, what to do with it? The same way we have no problem with gay, lesbian, and then the woman with reproductive right. Also, the woman can choose whether to carry that baby or not. Where do we set the boundaries?
Once you hear a heartbeat in the baby, the boundary is set.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So again, a few different things. So first of all, the obvious exceptions: rape, incest, health of the mother. I mean, those are a no-brainer, you know, in terms of getting an abortion. Those are easy things. Then we think about, you know, how long into a pregnancy is appropriate, and I don't have the answer, but what I can say, it's not 9 months, it's not 8 months. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to say it should be this or that, but I know if it's that extreme, that's not good, right? The other piece is, think about where the Democrat Party has evolved. So Bill Clinton back in the 90s, right? I think his point on abortion was it should be legal, safe, and rare. So in other words, you can do it. It's legal. It's safe. I mean, it's not in a van, God forbid, right? I mean, it's appropriate, but it's not a common thing. The other piece, and this kind of goes to everything: follow the money. All right. I'm not an expert on this, but Planned Parenthood, it seems to me from a little bit that I've read, is they're making money selling parts, if you will. I'm not going to get too graphic, but you know what I'm saying, right? Whether it's placenta or, you know, this or that, for research, for whatever it is, they're making money. I can't prove it, I mean, but this is my understanding. So a lot of things can be solved in life if you follow the money. You know, who's making money from these activities. If you take that part out of it, and I'm not saying they should or shouldn't, but disclose it. So if a young woman goes to a Planned Parenthood confused, right? What do I do? Help me, counsel me. You know, is there a profit motive behind what that counselor is saying? I mean, I don't know for sure, but the research that I have done is there's money in this for them. Is it a population control? Could be, right? I don't know. But there's a lot of variables that we have to look at, not just, you know, the obvious that the Democrat Party uses as a wedge issue, and they do it successfully. I mean, you got to hand it to them, right? Every election cycle it comes up, and you see commercials, someone telling their story, and, you know, it's a heartfelt story, and people, you know, vote based on emotions. But, you know, just again, rape, incest, health of the mother, obvious exceptions. Where that line should be in terms of the 9-month period, I don't know, maybe it's not here, but I know it's not here, like 8, 9 months.
But also, Dave, if I may interject, the Black Lives Matter movement nationwide was started and sponsored by progressive liberal Democrats. The Black Lives Movement, by them, under their supervision, is a complete lie and it's a complete fraud. Why? Because the progressive Democrats don't care about black lives. We in the Republican Party do. We care about the 30 million black babies that have been lost to abortion since abortion was legalized in 1973. We care about those. We would have prevented those had we been in power continuously since 1973. We care about these abortion clinics that are conveniently located in black communities that people can just walk in and do it and take care of it. And we would be more inclined towards letting the religious leaders, the Catholics, the evangelicals get involved and try to come up with an alternative to these women who find themselves in this situation. You don't have to go through with the abortion. We're going to support you. We're going to help you. And so we are really the champions. Black Lives Matter a great deal to the Republican Party. You would not see so many million babies, a disproportionate amount of babies in America that have been aborted have been black. And this is criminal. This is inexcusable. Quite frankly, this is worse than slavery. At least it didn't happen in slavery, but it's happening now. And this is a scourge on our American society. This is a societal sin for which, you know, the God above, if he's charitable, will not put his vengeance upon us.
Are you saying that they're pushing that, especially in the black community?
Yes, of course. Why are there so many abortion clinics? Planned Parenthood, they're evil. And they're in the black community, and they're pushing this, and they're pushing it continuously. How many black babies have fallen victim to these pathetically evil people with their clips or whatever, who perform these abortions? These people should... I'm sorry,
right,
this is a totally different issue.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with David and Tom about the Republican Party, the election, and everything. So if you have questions, you can go to our Facebook page, BCN Television, to just ask the questions, and then we will read them. We're going to take a break.
Yeah, no problem.
Boston Caribbean Network Television, c'est premier télévision communautaire et commerciale qui est là pour promouvoir valeurs culturelles, sociales et historiques pays d'Haïti. Une télévision qui l'a 24/24 pour voir toutes nouvelles nationales et internationales. D'ailleurs, si vous avez aimé produire émission par sur radio ou bien sur télévision BCN, ou avez aimé nous filmer service dimanche l'église ou, pas de problème, juste relais dans 617 290 16 60. 617 290 16 60 pour plus d'informations. Et pas oublier, nous sur toutes plateformes tant que Roku, Facebook, Fire Stick, YouTube et nous sous chaîne 31.3 local. BCN, c'est télévision pour communauté caribéenne. BCN, Boston Caribbean Network Television, c'est première télévision communautaire et commerciale qui est là pour promouvoir valeurs culturelles, sociales et historiques pays d'Haïti. Une télévision qui l'a 24/24 pour voir toutes nouvelles nationales et internationales. D'ailleurs, si vous avez aimé produire émission par sur radio ou bien sur télévision BCN, ou avez aimé nous filmer service dimanche l'église ou, pas de problème, juste relais dans 617 290 16 60. 617 290 16 60 pour plus d'informations. Et pas oublier, nous sur toutes plateformes tant que Roku, Facebook, Firestick, YouTube et nous sous chaîne 31.3 local. BCN, c'est télévision pour communauté caribéenne.
Encore une fois, bonsoir à tout le monde. Et je ne c'est donc politique autrement, que je différents après-midi. Et encore une fois, sur la page Facebook, nous avons posé des questions, nous avons posé pour nous avec deux autres républicains. Et nous tous connaissons, M. Fleury sont républicains réguliers. Nous faisons choix chaque lundi et vendredi. Et nous devons temps. Nous avec eux, nous avons regardé pour nous voir qui côté et qui, dans le parti politique, ça il est démocrate ou républicain, qui est qui dans l'intérêt communautaire plus. Nous avons nous gagnons, et c'est la première fois sur le plateau ça, nous gagnons républicains, excepté M. Fleury. Qui vient pour partager l'idée, comment ouais politique là bas ici. Et nous demandons si on ne peut pas suivre, partager le lien avec les amis pour capable regarder, poser des questions. Nous-mêmes, nous avons posé avec David et Tom Mountain qui, ensemble avec nous dans le studio, nous avons regardé qui mythe, qui est côté démocrate, et parfois pour Haïti, ou bien c'est Républicain qui a fait, ou bien est-ce que Républicain pas fait en Haïti, c'est démocrate qui va faire, nous allons connaître avec eux. M. Fleury.
Bon, je pense que, comme on dit, je pense que l'émission à Soya, c'est une émission spéciale liée, parce que d'habitude, c'est nous qui avons fait l'émission, mais qu'on a là, nous avons deux autres mondes qui viennent retrouver nous, et c'est deux républicains qui ont. En pile, on n'a pas prendre tout, parce que c'est pas facile. On a entendu républicains qui viennent parler de partis. Et je pense que dans pile question qu'on pose là, c'est une question qui est importante, question qui touche avec immigration, déportation, question qui touche avec économie et question qui touche plus tout avec sécurité en Haïti. Bon, c'est question très importante et on nous continue le débat pour nous voir que si nous avons plus dans le temps avec David.
All right, I'm going to go back to Tom and David. So now this is thing, we all know in 1915, Haiti was occupied by the United States and then a lot of things happened. And we, as Haitian, we think that the United States has full control over Haiti. But one other thing that I like, I think Trump said it and I liked it, is the fact that to focus more on the United States instead of other countries. Although there are interests on other countries, but I would love to see a Haiti more independent, okay, where the United States does not have full control over, and while we right there in the backyard of the United States, and this is the way they're treating us. Do you think with a Trump president, so now remember he had a first presidency, and I mean not much was done, and under this administration nothing has been done, and problems are getting worse and worse every day. So now, do you think with a Trump president, things could be better?
So yeah, absolutely. So you think about Trump's first presidency, think about who was against him and what he went through. Impeached, all kinds of lawfare, all kinds of obstacles that were put in his way to doing really his full potential.
But he wasn't innocent either.
No, that's true. But I mean, they were all over him, and he was still able to get a lot of different things done. I'll say this: he recognizes opportunity, as I do. So you think about Haiti, wonderful natural resources, wonderful population. People that care about family and opportunity. the location in terms of potential tourism that could happen that's not being exploited, and I mean exploited in a good way, you know, in terms of tourists coming and spending money and spending time. So I'm sure he would look at Haiti, just like some of the other countries in the hemisphere, as, you know, how do we help these individuals and as a country to be more safe, stable, to maximize the use of their intellectual ability and resources. To your earlier point, though, the United States is, correct me if I'm wrong, $32 trillion in debt, roughly, give or take $1 trillion, right, depending on the day. So any organization that has that level of debt, could be a household, could be a business, right, anything really, or any organization, that limits your ability to help other entities or individuals or countries. So, you know, we really have to think about, as Americans, how do we stabilize our own country, whether it's the same issues, right? Safety, opportunity, all the things that we talked about at the top of the show, regulatory environment, and other things like that. So I think we have to, as Americans, kind of stabilize our own little business a little bit here so that we can help selectively other countries out there. So to directly answer your question, I think Trump would probably look at the situation and say, okay, we have a wonderful country that's in our hemisphere that needs help, and if we can stabilize Haiti, it's going to benefit individuals from Haiti, individuals that are here from Haiti as well, and that model, hopefully, if it's successful, can be carried out throughout the hemisphere.
But also, you know, in 2017, when Trump was president, Haiti was not in crisis. Today, in 2024, it is in crisis. And it's been in crisis.
I'm sorry, Haiti has always been in crisis since after the occupation 1915, right?
Yeah.
But it's getting worse.
Yes.
Now.
It's getting worse because the United States, Haiti's right there in the backyard, never done anything
That's right.
concrete.
But what I'm saying is, in 2017, at least when Trump was president, there was a functioning, there was a government, there was a structure. Today, there is no structure. Today, you have anarchy and total chaos. And this happened under the Democrats' watch, and they've done nothing. You've never heard, I don't think, I haven't heard Joe Biden speak anything about Haiti, or anyone for that matter. Kamala Harris won't speak about Haiti because she doesn't care. They don't care. And they're not going to do anything for Haiti. When Trump gets into office, you will see him do something constructive for Haiti. Again, I don't know what that is. But Trump is so creative, he will find a way to help Haiti. You know, Haiti, Venezuela went down a very catastrophic route. And that happened mostly under the Democrats, but also to a point under the Republicans under George W. Bush. He's not exempt for that. But and Haiti has too, but under a Trump administration, at least you have a chance, at least you have a much better chance that this president, this administration will do something for Haiti. You don't have any chance under a Harris administration with the Democrats, because they've shown that they won't do anything. They don't care, and they won't. So at least, so why not give Trump a chance is what we're saying. Why not in the communities in Florida, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, in those important communities where Haitians live, where they live in large groups, come out to vote for Trump. Get rid of the Democrat congressmen that you have there. They're not doing you any good. They're not doing anyone any good. Get rid of them. Vote in Republicans. Vote in Republicans everywhere. You will see a big, big change over time.
To me, will there be a balance if you vote Republican across the board?
No, you don't want.
Who's keeping the vote?
You don't want a balance. You want Republicans controlling Congress, the Senate, and the presidency, because we will change. We will get things done. We will get the country working again.
David.
Sure. So, no, it's a great question, because personally, I just want to work with competent people that want to do the right thing. So I'm less about labels, you know, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, whatever. Unfortunately, we're in a country that is so divided, it's painful almost, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean, though, you can't have a Democrat that has a good idea. And so I don't want to, like, and it sounds kind of crazy, but I don't want to shut these people out.
You had Governor Baker, and he was a Republican, but
So-
he was a great governor, you know, loved by...
But you know what? So Governor Baker, and, you know, we can debate good, you know, middle or road, whatever. He was a businessman. He was a CEO of a health company, right? And that's what I like about Trump. I personally, I respect business professionals that go to work every single day. They try to hit sales numbers. They try to make payroll. They solve problems. They deal with different stakeholders, and they get the job done. Okay, so with Baker, you know, again, he was a CEO of a huge medical healthcare company, right?
Yeah.
So he approached running the state as a business. Not perfect, nobody's perfect, but I mean, I like that approach. And so that's the one unique thing about Massachusetts. There's a lot of unique things, right? But very democratic, very blue state. But historically, we've had Republican governors, like several over the last, you know, 10 or 15 years. And they, you know, they did a decent job overall. So that's why I really like Trump, because he's a business guy. You know, when you're running a business, you do the best you can to take the emotion out of it and get the job done. So he has the ability to negotiate across the table from people that think completely different from him. So he can make deals. So think about how tough it was to build a real estate empire in the 1970s in New York. I mean, you had mob people, you had politicians, you had all kinds of different obstacles that are put in your way, but he did it. So he was across the table from, and he was a Democrat back then, right? So, so think about it. He had Republicans on the other side of it. He had, you know, different agencies and regulatory people that did not want him to be successful. So what I'm saying is, he can help get deals done in Haiti to get things going. So he has that courage, not it's courage, but also just the ability of a successful business professional. And I like that.
The other thing that we'd like to see is to have more Haitians run for office as Republicans. We would love to see Haitians run for Congress, for Senate, and especially Ayanna Pressley, who I think is the congresswoman for this district. She's the worst. She's a socialist, communist. She is the worst. We would love to see a Haitian run as a Republican against her, especially with the large Haitian community here.
But
it would be quite a challenge.
But do you both realize to have Haitians involved in the Republican Party, you have to do your work?
Yes,
indeed. You have to come to the community and then show, because like I told you before, there's this fear that, oh, Republican and it's bad for you. You know, they're going to deport you, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. But I think you're not, you know, helping yourself, because you stay back, you never approach the community, get involved in the community. Yes, I have this guy here, but I think that's the only one you have. You
this is my question for Tommy David. Black person, Republican, every time I speak with the black community, the message is the Republican Party is for white people.
For white people.
No, it's a legitimate question, because if you think about the evolution of the Republican Party, sort of back in the day, that was the cliche, that it was just a kind of country club group, mainly white, you know, kind of limited. But think about what Trump has done in the last 6, 7, 8 years. I mean, former Democrat, as we mentioned. You look at the faces in his rallies, right? You see young, old, every different type of minority. So, you know, again, the cliche of the Republican Party 20, 30 years ago, you're right. It was not good. It was not welcoming. I didn't want to be involved in it. I wouldn't be welcome, frankly, as well. But it like everything else, it's evolved. Has it got more to go? No question about it, absolutely. But at least as far as I can see, the trend is going in the right direction.
But what I would add also is, if you're if you believe in hard work, if you believe in keeping your money, if you believe in lower taxes, if you believe in family, if you believe in, if you're a churchgoer, if you're a law-abiding citizen, then the Republican Party is for you. That's what we have to tell the Haitian community. If you believe in all those things that I mentioned, then you are a practicing Republican, just as you may be a practicing Christian. If you believe in socialism, if you believe in the government taking more of your money, if you believe in the government telling what your kids should learn in schools, or what they should see on TV, or anything, if you believe in the government controlling every aspect of your life, if you believe that abortion clinics should be on every street corner in every neighborhood where you turn around, then you're a Democrat. The Republican Party is the home for the Haitian community.
But you know what? If I could jump in, I apologize. I like to look at trends, right? So I'm a former professor at some of the colleges here in Massachusetts, and I'm actually an advisor to the Babson Republican Club, and 50 members. So the hope, and I'm seeing hope, honestly, is that call it Gen Z, I guess, right? 18 to 24, 18 to 25, depending on who you ask, right? So there are probably 10 young Republican clubs in various colleges, and I visited with a lot of them, and as the vice chair of Get Out the Vote, that's my job, right, to kind of work with these different groups. What's really, really encouraging to me is the diversity of those groups, not just the age range, which is very encouraging, right? 18 to 24, kind of doing all the things and caring about all the things that Tom mentioned, but it's just the demographics of those groups, right? Women, African American, Asians, I mean, really just right across the board, and that is just so encouraging. So we're not where we should be. Okay, let's just be honest about that as a party, but it's getting there, and it really, really gives me hope to see individuals in colleges, so not just the 18 to 24 demo, but in colleges as well, kind of standing up for the same values that we're talking about. So, so there's hope, I guess, is what I can say.
The other thing I'd like to interject, you know, when we, what is most important to any parent, especially immigrant parents, it's the schools, where you send your kids to schools. In the schools that the Democrats run, in the public schools, what do they stress and what do? They bring in drag queens to talk to read stories to kindergartners and first graders. They talk about having sex change operations for 10 and 12-year-olds without the consent and knowledge of their parents. This is craziness. This is something the Democrat socialists do. We Republicans would never think of doing that. Drag queens reading stories to 6-year-olds, children who are 13, 14 having sex change operations? No, 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 no. If somebody wants to do that when they're 21, that's fine. But they're children. You don't do that. Teenagers having abortions without their parents knowing about it or even being consulted about it. And in the schools, the teachers' unions and the administrators want to control your children and keep things away from parents. We are totally open about it. Our value system is such: family first, parental rights first, not the rights of some union or some administrator. This is crazy, some of the stuff that they're teaching in schools. And by the way, they're all anti-religion too. They're all anti-Christianity. They just are.
Yeah.
One of the I'm sorry, just one quick one. So one of the most encouraging thing I'm seeing, or things that I'm seeing at this point, think about when we were younger, right? For me, it's many years now, but we used to rebel against the establishment. Whatever it was, think about rock and roll, right? In the 50s, you're rebelling against the establishment, whatever. What I'm seeing on these college campuses, in these Republican clubs, they're, in a good way, they're rebelling against what's being forced on them by, whether it's the teachers, the unions, all the things that Tom just mentioned. These different groups, the Republican clubs, they're rebelling, and it's almost cool now to be they have the thinking that we have now. And again, long way to go, but I like to see that sort of rebellion against the establishment or values that are being forced on them. So again, long road to go, but it's encouraging.
But you know, Dave, just on a side note, to be a really, you know, in the 60s, American history, it was considered to be cool to rebel against the establishment. But now the establishment, there are all these crazy liberal professors. So if you really want to go to UMass Amherst, or if you want to go to Harvard, you really want to rebel against the establishment, then you have to be a conservative Republican, because the establishment is liberal, liberal left-wing socialists.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. So you want to, so college students, those entering college, you want to rebel against the man? Well, the man is a liberal. You become a Republican. That's how you rebel.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
My question to Tom and David, can you talk quickly about the organization of the Republican Party in Massachusetts?
Sure, yeah. So, controversial.
Yeah.
Why don't we start with that, right, and be honest about it. So listen, I mean, the reality of the situation is the Republicans represent approximately 9% of the voters, okay? I've been studying this in my role. So there's approximately 484,000 registered Republicans, 2.9 million unenrolled, and the rest are Democrats and Libertarians and, you know, other things. So it's clearly a minority, right? So we don't have a lot of power. But, you know, you see the transition of the different chairs that happen. Unfortunately, there's infighting, and personally, I try to just stay away from all of that and focus on results. The good news is it's moving forward. So there were issues in the past with the Mass GOP. Hopefully, a lot of that's getting cleaned up in terms of finances, in terms of branding, in terms of communication, all the different metrics that you would look at. So, you know, it's not an easy position to be 9%, because anything that you do, whether it's fighting or anything, gets amplified by, you know, the local media. But it is getting straightened out. The other piece I'm going to say is that Massachusetts is one of the few states in New England that actually has a Trump campaign. A lot of them don't even have a campaign. They might have, you know, yeah, it's crazy, right? So I think they look at states like Maine, which is kind of very liberal at this point. So, you know, they really just kind of picked and choose. How they choose Massachusetts, I have no idea, but I'm glad they did, because we have a terrific organization, and I can tell you that we're working closely with the Mass GOP. We don't agree on everything. I mean, you know, it's okay. But it's working very, very closely together in terms of support. So at least in this instance with the Trump campaign in Massachusetts, things are going smoother than they have been in the past. The other piece is they've activated what's called, and you know this, it's called the Republican Town Committee, Republican City Committee. These different organizations in the vast majority of the cities and towns, they're working okay. So what's happening is there's a down ballot approach. So as in my role and Tom, and we have all these different meetings, people are now starting to run for local offices. When I was chair of the Stowe RTC, I was pounding the table to get people to run for school committee, finance committee, economic development. When I was in Stowe RTC, they didn't even have a Republican registrar. So I'm kind of a wise guy from Cambridge. I'm being very nice, right? But I was pounding the table. I was like, you know, we can't complain about real or imagined voter issues unless we have a Republican registrar. So, you know, they finally did get one. So to answer your question, it's been bumpy, but I see some hope, at least in terms of the partnership between the Mass GOP and the Trump campaign.
But you know, also, we're a one-party state, and before, at least under Charlie Baker, we were a two-party state, and that's always healthy. That's always healthy. And a former Democrat governor even told me once that it's healthier, it's better that way. But nevertheless, now the Democrats control everything. They control this. They control the executive wing of the state house. They control the state legislature, the state senate. all 9 congressmen, congresspeople are Democrats. The 2 senators are Democrats. That's not healthy. It's never healthy when you have one-party rule, because when you have one-party rule, they can pretty much do whatever they want. You need balance. You need a balance of another party to watch them, to watch each other. At least under Baker for 8 years, we had that. So what do we need now? We need another Republican governor in that. Is that going to happen anytime soon? I sadly say probably not, because these things go in cycles usually. We had 8 years of Charlie Baker. Prior to that, we had 8 years of Deval Patrick. Are we going to have 8 years of Maura Healey? God, I hope not, because it will be very bad for our state. But it's not only our state. It's really becoming unfortunate.
It would be very bad.
Because when you have when you have a one-party rule in a state, it's never good for anything or anyone.
But you just said a few minutes ago for people to vote across the board in Republican Congress, Senate, and the presidency.
Yes, however, but when I say that, for example, if you have a Republican-dominated Congress, that doesn't mean that, say in Missouri, that everyone is Republican across the board, that all the congressmen are Republican, or in Pennsylvania, that all the senators, both senators, will be Republican. It's always good to have a minority party just to understand, just to see what the opposition is doing. Even if I were in Utah, I would still want to have, which is a Republican-dominated state.
Here's, I mean, without cutting you off, because we're running out of time.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Earlier during the conversation, you mentioned Ayanna Presley. But one thing you need to realize is, whatever is going on in the community, she's always there. So now I think it is your job as a Republican to get involved in the community. You see what I mean? If they don't see you,
you're right.
You don't exist.
And Baker, Charlie Baker tried to do that, by the way. He did come into Boston repeatedly. He tried to do that.
And that's why you had a lot of Haitians and voted for Charlie, because it was more involved. So if you complaining about, or advising, the people to go vote for them, you need to show up. You need to, they need to see your face and talk to you, get to know you better to get the vote. You see what I mean? But if they never seen a Republican except for this guy,
it's funny, this is my job.
It's gonna be hard. You see what I mean? It's gonna be hard. You need to, go to whatever events in the community, get to know the community, get involved in the community, so they know. You know what I mean? So
we need more people like John Senate Fleury, who are Haitian Republican leaders.
People needs to know. You know what? Maybe they're not what we think they are.
Right.
And by the only way to do is to communicate with them better, have better communication with them, and get involved.
Well, that's why we're on your show. Our message to the Haitian community is very simple. There is a home for you in the Republican community. We welcome you with open arms. We want you. Please come to us. You will find friends. You will find family. You will be very happy with us. We share your values of faith, of freedom, of country. You have a stake in this election. This is your adopted country. This election is for you. You have a stake in choosing your president. Choose wisely. Choose Republican. Choose Donald Trump for our future and your children.
Yeah. Very similar. So the Haitian community has the same values of entrepreneurship, family, safety, growth, personal success. Those are the values of the Republican Party, as well as Donald Trump himself. And we need your help. We also want to be a help to you. It was mentioned earlier, if you have an opportunity to run in your local districts for a school committee, economic committee, a finance committee, please do it. You can volunteer and have an immediate impact with your community. So we're with you, we believe in you, and we want to help and be part of your community as well. Thank you.
Bon bagay m'a dit nous, c'est vraiment saluer David avec Tom qui est avec nous. Et je pense que monsieur a tourné encore. Je pense que à soir nous avons une belle émission. Notre émission pas encore pas malgré que moi suis républicain, mais moi j'étais un peu neutre parce que bon, c'est politique, nous voyons tous les deux partis pour équilibrer la fête. Et je crois que bon, c'est pour nous remercier tout le monde qui a regardé l'émission.
C'est ça.
À la prochaine.
Je dis merci à tout le monde parce que nous avons merci avec David et Tom parce que vous avez choisi de venir sur la plateforme nous après-midi à l'émission Politique Autrement. Il y a une émission qui est différente, genre Politique Autrement. Et nous recevons officiel démocrate là, tout quel que soit le monde qui a participé dans le show, tant pis, nous coup de fil, envoyez un message à nous, ou bien écrire nous. C'est dedona@bcntelevision.com ou bien aller sur YouTube, Facebook, pour un message à nous, Instagram, Twitter, pour un message à nous, dis-nous là. On est capable de discuter ensemble, nous avons une conversation qui est nice avec Maître Fleury, avec deux autres invités. Merci un peu tout le monde, toujours un plaisir de rejoindre nous avec Maître Fleury, c'est qui lundi avec Maître Fleury. Et là moi-même, moi chaque jour sur page c'est bcntelevision.com ou bien sur Facebook BCN Télévision. Merci tout le monde et à la semaine prochaine.
Merci beaucoup.
Premier télévision communautaire et commerciale qui est là pour promouvoir valeurs culturelles, sociales et historiques pays d'Haïti. Une télévision qui l'a 24/24 pour voir toutes nouvelles nationales et internationales. D'ailleurs, si vous avez aimé produire émission par sur radio ou bien sur télévision BCN, ou avez aimé nous filmer service dimanche l'église ou, pas de problème. Juste relais dans 617 290 16 60. 617 290 16 60 pour plus d'informations. Et pas oublier, nous sur toutes plateformes Roku, Facebook, Firestick, YouTube et nous sous chaîne 31.3 local. BCN, c'est télévision pour communauté caribéenne. BCN.
Deuxième fundraising Galali, samedi 31 août 2024, dans American Post 440 Victory Hall, au profit paroisse Altagrace Delma Haïti, de la partie la grande chanteuse Rick Trude-Pierre, directement d'Haïti.
Année vini, année allée, maman. Tout le monde vit Jean ma pédicante.
N'a bien Père Francky Désir, invité d'honneur. DJ EJ Mix pour capable commémorer belle occasion ça. Attention, à bien rooms block dans Sheraton Hotel Newton. Place limitée, pied coûte prend devant. Admission seulement $125. À bien cocktail hour, dîner dansant, plusieurs surprises. Adresse là 295 California Street Newton, Victory Hall. Pour hôtel réservation, relais 1 877 822 66 66. Code La Grâce Family. Vin en foule pour aider paroisse là parce que travail bon Dieu a pas qu'à camper. Pour information et réservation, relais 617 817 94 38 203 559 05 92 203 331 21 35. En pile surprise, marché avec cash. Samedi 31 août 2024, viens participer en grand nombre dans deuxième gala fundraising non famille maman la grâce. Attends-nous en grand nombre.
Parce que c'est bon Dieu m'a prélé.
Caribbean Network Television, c'est premier télévision communautaire et commerciale qui est là pour promouvoir valeurs culturelles, sociales et historiques pays d'Haïti. Une télévision qui l'a 24/24 pour voir toutes nouvelles nationales et internationales. D'ailleurs, si vous avez aimé produire émission par sur radio ou bien sur télévision BCN, ou avez aimé nous filmer service dimanche l'église ou, pas de problème. Juste relais dans 617 290 16 60. 617 290 16 60 pour plus d'informations. Et pas oublier, nous sur toutes plateformes Roku, Facebook, Firestick, YouTube et nous sous chaîne 31.3 local. BCN, c'est télévision pour communauté caribéenne.